The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show would like to acknowledge the traditional land owners and the leaders past, present and emerging of Ngunnawal, Ngambri and Darawal countries where we are working from today. This always was, and always will be, Aboriginal land.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Manjot, myth, legend.
Who thinks they're going first this week, by the way? Hands up.
It's Talor.
Oh, you're wrong. It's you, Manjot.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, okay. Man, that is just a load of information. Lot of dumping right there, man. Yes, you gotta go for them early and then trade them. I was feeling that sort of vibe from Talor. Talor nailed, I reckon. Yeah, as someone who's living the pain of the Jimmy G experience still, just trade that man, please.
I just realised he, basically had hamstrings made of tissue. That was great.
A lot like mine.
Anyway, back to Manjot.
How about me with my Peyton Manning jersey that I got for Christmas last year?
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
It's an upgrade, but he's not going to be so elite.
In the beginning there was nothing, a featureless void. From the formless primordial state, a legend was born when forces combined to create a solid object of significant value. As planets were formed and Earth itself was shaped, the object lay awaiting its destiny. Seas rise and fall, mountains emerge, and upon the highest mountain, an intrepid adventurer happens upon the object. A worthy prize for ascending this to the tallest of peaks. This object has been documented to be held by many of the great dynasties of mankind, from the Persians to the Hans, the Mongols and the Ottomans, lives lost defending it from those who seek to possess it. Now it is in the trust of three wise men who also reach such pinnacles, to be held by he who imparts the most astute knowledge upon fellow mankind. The winner of the annual Aussie NFL Fantasy Show Starts of the Week.
Starts of the week, aka the Talor Goodall Invitational. The Talor Goodall Invitational Tournament. I'm very sorry to Matty, Connor, and of course myself, but the Talor Goodall Invitational Tournament is definitely the right thing. We've even got a guest this week. We've got Marky Mark from No Huddle Dynasty. We'd love to welcome you to the Talor Goodall Invitational Tournament. Can you get on the board this week for Matty?
It's Taylor's world. We're just living in it.
Yeah, exactly.
They've barely been living in it. They've been suffocating it.
Yeah, it's been a terrible start. Let's look at the
Can
leaderboard.
I just touch on last week quickly? I literally sent a message out at 6 a.m. or something. Say I'm finally done. This has to be it. My quarterback was Teddy Bridgewater. He threw one pass and got concussed, and so he got 0. I'm like, this has to be it. Not only am I not going to win, I'm surely going to get last. Lo and behold, everyone else sucked ass too, and somehow I Stephen Bradbury'd my way to another win.
They're the best wins.
And to be fair, that hasn't been a common thread this year. I've actually put up some enormous weeks some weeks. There's been some weeks where Manjot and Matty's score combined hasn't reached mine. I think there was a 92 and a 91 from my 4 players in a couple of weeks. This week I scored 40 and I still won.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just
Wild.
how do we just lose this segment every single time? It's just
There was
terrible.
a lot of turds. My God, last week, all of us. There was some bad picks.
Yeah,
I said, I got 0 from the quarterback. Obviously, Ramondre was a pretty decent pick, going up and getting 21.5. And then I obviously had Corey Davis not do much with the 5.8. And then I had Njoku go quite well to get me up to the 40, which turned out to be the win. I think Matty scored 0.6 or something less than I did. He was in the high 39s, and then Manjot was sitting at about 30.
Yeah, it was just I sat at exactly 30. Matty at 39. Of course, Talor with that 40. Just got in. And the leaderboard at the moment, Talor sitting on 15 points. That is
Out of a
he's got
possible how many?
15. Yeah, that's right. He's got the maximum 3 points every single week. He's just the best on ground right now, getting absolutely everything in the Brownlow Battle stakes at the moment. So, look, Taylor, you can win the Dally M and the Brownlow at this point. Like, fuck, this is just an incredible season. Probably better than
Virtual
Patrick
as well.
Cripps and Nico Hines combined at this point with those sort of seasons they put up. So yeah, we got them. And then of course, Matty C coming in at second in the Taylor Goodall Invitational Tournament. He's come up with 8 points. Nice. That's good. And third place, this loser named Manjot,
Never heard of him.
7 points. 7 points.
He's
This
a
is
myth.
It's a terrible performance. Indeed a myth. A terrible performance to start off his starts of the week career. He's only come second, twice in 5 weeks. So that is not even good at all. So Manjot, pick up your game this week and actually start some good players.
So Matty's not really injured. He got so sick of losing, he had to bring in a ringer. So even if he wins this week, Matty still didn't technically win.
Yeah, that's true. So we got Marky Mark this week. So does he count as like a fourth column on this table, or does he actually count towards Matty's score?
No, Matty just gets an
He
asterisk.
counts
Matty
towards.
will get the win.
Matty will get the win, but we'll all know it was really Mark.
Yeah, it all counts towards. I reckon this counts towards Matty 100%. So as the winner again for the 5th week in a row, Taylor, as usual, gets to decide the draft order. So Taylor, this week your picks were.
So this week I decided, thinking Matty was going to be on, because I've toyed with giving him the first pick basically every single week because he's never had it. It's always been either Manjot or myself. So I basically kept saying to him until he actually pulls his finger out of his ass and actually has a decent score, that I will keep holding it away from him. To be fair, he didn't really have a great score, but he almost beat me. So I thought that was good enough to give him the number one. So it's going to be a Mark/Matt number one. I'm going to put Manjot in the middle where he loves it the best, and I'm going to bit the arsehole end at number 3.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, so I guess Marky Mark, of course, we got to start with
Straight up.
right?
And we can just swat away his picks if they're not up to our liking. I can't wait for it.
Not nervous at all.
No, of course not.
So it doesn't matter whether I go. Do I have to go quarterback first, or
Anything.
No, completely anything. That's sort of part of the game. Is that
Yeah, so one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, and one tight end for your entire lineup.
with a bit of luck, I'll only have to take one homer pick, and I'm getting it out of the way nice and early.
Oh no!
Oh,
Damn it!
What? I don't know if you. I'm going Raheem.
Damn it! I knew
Oh.
it. He's the top of my running back list.
every time.
So-
Mark comes straight in here and takes my number one running back straight off the bat. What a wanker. I hate this.
Mate, blame Talor. I would have picked him.
As soon as you said a homer pick, I'm like, oh, no, I'm done here.
I did have another one a bit further on another. Anyway, that's fine. So he's exceeded his projections 3 out of 5 weeks. He is taking more of the lion's share. I'm really shocked at how bad Chase Edmonds has looked.
Me too.
Granted, he was playing with Skylar Thompson last week, who was admirable for a 7th round pick in his first start. He didn't look horrible, but he definitely looked like a rookie in his first start. So with a bit of luck, Teddy will be back. Hopefully they find that spotter and they put him on the concussion protocol because Teddy was not concussed.
Yeah.
He's fine. He should have been able to come back. So
Not too afraid.
I expect him to be cleared by Thursday and playing. The passing game will be much cleaner, which will help open things up. That being said, even with Skylar, Raheem looked really good. So I see him being fine.
Yeah, that's a fair enough choice. I mean, look, I was looking at Raheem too because he used to be my boy. I remember him on the Niners, that amazing 2019 championship game. I'm jealous of the Dolphins now. I'm secretly a Dolphins fan because they have Raheem. So look, Raheem, I'm 100% supporting that pick. 100%. Yeah.
Embrace the aqua, my friend.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
I totally didn't have him on my list. Not at all. What a shit pick.
Oh,
And I'm
goodness.
starting him in fantasy, so I really, really just need to lean into this.
It's always good when that works out.
Yeah, goodness. Yeah, so I guess I'm going second
Yep.
as this week's host. Oh boy, this is a tough one. I'm going running back. I'm gonna go if this is allowed. If this is allowed,
Okay.
this is because he was pretty hyped up in preseason. We actually had fights over him on this show. AJ Dillon, is he allowed?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna take AJ Dillon against that Jets sort of
Yep.
run defense. I'm not even sure this week about AJ. I mean, the dude's being outworked by freaking Aaron Jones every single week. Aaron Jones is going up against just great he's just going up against great looks, great sort of carries. But I think AJ Dillon, sooner or later, please just actually do something. I think the Jets, they haven't been that great in the run defense. And as we saw last week, we're just talking about just then, Raheem Mostert had a good game against them. So surely AJ Dillon, he can get something going here.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, if you actually, I had a look a couple of days ago. He's like running back 30 something. Like, hasn't really had a breakout game yet. And what's actually throwing me this year is like he's not throwing to the running backs much, and that's a complete surprise to me. I thought honestly Dillon and Jones would be huge in the receiving game for them because of all the wide receiver, targets they lost last year, and it's really not happening. Like I expected there to be a split in the rushing, but I just really thought that Dillon and Jones would take a step forward in the passing game, and it really hasn't happened. So that's kind of hindered the full breakout of Dillon and then Jones's like top 5 aspirations, is they're just not getting the passing work that I thought they would.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, yeah, Rodgers hasn't really been throwing that well this year. He should be throwing to the running backs of all those rookie wide receivers that he has, but turns out he's not even throwing it good at all to anyone. So, yeah, I reckon sooner or later they got to realize Quadzilla's in the backfield. Come on, you got to feed Quadzilla, the quad fighter. Come on, man, please. This is the week. This is the week. Yeah, surely.
All right. On to the turn for me. 2 picks in a row, baby.
Oh.
All right. Well, I obviously don't need to pick a running back till last pick now, so you've both sort of taken that away. All right. Quarterback's funny one for me because I've got 4 written down. I had a couple, and then I thought of 2 more, and as I was sort of looking down the standings, and a couple of guys that had decent matchups as well. I'm taking Geno. I can't stay away from Geno, mate. I'm just so in on the way he's passing at the moment, and with that matchup against Arizona, I just can't say no. And I just think he ticks way more boxes than anyone else on that list. So I think getting Geno was important for me here. I'm contemplating just another Dr. Good call here. I was proud of my Dr. Good call picks for this week. So yeah, stuff it. I'm going to go Rondale. I'm going to take someone on the other side of the ball. I think that's going to be a high scoring game between Seattle and Arizona, and I'm just hoping, like I said, just before Hopkins comes back, there's a bit of a breakout for Rondale Moore. So I really liked the 8 targets and 7 receptions last week, and in a high scoring game this week, I think there's an enormous opportunity for him. So I think he fits the bill of this segment pretty well. Someone that's, so I think, ready to break out before they have already.
Yeah, I like those 2 picks. I was honestly thinking about Geno too, but even then, I was like, wait, is Geno actually allowed in this segment anymore?
Well,
Because,
I think
I
the
mean,
idea, right, is I know what you mean because he is sitting at quarterback 5, but I just think that in general, people aren't thinking as a guaranteed start. Like, if you polled people out there in the fantasy community, would anyone honestly be starting Geno in a 10-team league? Like, they'd still be starting. I guarantee there's 10 starters that people would be putting over Geno still right now.
Put it this, in our 16-team league, he was on the waiver wire.
Yeah,
this week.
exactly.
And we picked him up.
I think that's more the point. And I did say that with quarterback and tight end, that it's not so much about exactly what the stats say that they're sitting at right now, because I don't think that matters, because it's obviously a lot harder to find those positions anyway. But I just think people still think of preseason ADP with their quarterbacks. Like, it takes a long, long time for them to sort of go away from it. And I just don't think Geno is considered like a guaranteed start by anyone right now. Still.
Yeah, 100%. Not considered that good at all. But now he's just come out of the way and he's just. Yeah, sorry, my grandma was just interrupting.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, I was saying he's not considered that big of a start yet. So, yeah, I think Gino, if we just picked up in 16 team, then yeah, he's got to be on this segment. And yeah, Rondell, another pick I like from you. So there we go.
He's wide receiver 113 right now, Rondell Moore. So I don't think I'll be considered as chalk for taking him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, who do I go with at this one? This is actually something I haven't really thought of that well, because you had the running back going after that. So look, I'm gonna take. Am I allowed to take Evan Ingram in this league?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, there aren't many tight ends you can't take. Put it that way. Yeah, like, if you're not saying Kelsey, Andrews, and a couple of the other ones around it, then everyone else is fair game.
Yeah, I'm going with Evan Ingram. This guy, I just think he'll have a good game against the Colts again, and I'm just gonna take it based on the first matchup. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it on the first matchup. So yeah, I'm going with Evan Ingram here.
No issues there, mate. Matt, we got Mark / Matt up on the turn.
I'm torn. I think I'm going to go.
That's the best part about this game.
It's driving me insane. I don't feel. I'm torn on this. I feel good, but it sounds gross. So I'm going to go quarterback.
Yep.
I'm going to go Danny Dimes.
Yeah, he's second on my list.
It just does not feel good to say it, but he is averaging 15.6 fantasy points a game, and it's a really good matchup for him. He spread the ball around 8 different receivers. Like, he is looking for passes. So I don't know. I just don't be a dick, Danny. Just have one good week for me.
There's going to be a lot of rushing yards from those two quarterbacks combined in that game, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So give me Danny, and then I get another one on the turn. So I'm going to go tight end. I'm going to go Irv Smith.
Oh, nice.
My boy from last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had Irv last week.
Yeah, our defense is fucked at the moment. It's so bad. We can't stop anything. So yeah, I mean, depending on Kirk could throw it a million. It's Justin Jefferson is going to go off this game, but I'm hoping he can jag at least a touchdown and bring Matty some points.
It's such a tough one. Like, I've got Justin Jefferson in the content league, so I want him to go off. Then I'm against him with Justin in the bloody Astro league. So what do I want? Like 16 points? Like,
well, this is the thing I had with TC with Josh Jacobs on Tuesday. Yeah. I needed him to score 10 so I could win keeper, but not more than 24.
Oh no!
You, Josh Jacobs.
I had a league where I was 1-3, and I just needed Josh Jacobs not to score 38, and it was full PPR, and he got to 33. I still nearly lost.
What an asshole! Yeah, I'm on you now. Like, you were on that last year.
I know.
Josh Jacobs is an ass.
Hate you. And he's just killing at the moment. It's just doing my head in because I obviously have no shares.
Fucking feed Samir White. It's not hard.
Exactly. All right, Manjot. What's your next pick, mate?
Oh boy. So wait, who did Mark go with again? Sorry, I was a bit
Irv Smith. Irv Smith and Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, so if I've got Evan Ingram, my running back AJ Dillon, Oh boy, so I got quarterback and wide receiver, my two favorite positions left. I'm gonna go with because it's gonna be a tough matchup. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go with Trevor. I'm just gonna go with the stack. Trevor Lawrence.
I'm shocked you didn't go Jimmy.
Oh,
Oh,
I've
I
got
nearly went Jimmy. I
Jimmy's
thought,
third on my list.
yeah. Look, you know me. I'm a Niners fan. I chose Jimmy a couple of weeks ago against the Broncos. Do I want to do that again?
yeah, okay,
No.
fair enough.
I just had Jimmy because he was against Atlanta. Like, on no
Yeah, that's
stats
what I was
to see
thinking.
why Jimmy
No
was
Deion
good. It's
Jones
just
now.
22nd against quarterback. That's all I had. I literally had my list was because everyone's picked their quarterback now. I had Gino, Danny Dimes, Jimmy G, and then I added Justin Fields. I know he's been
Me too.
absolutely dog
I
shit
looked at
this year in
Fields.
fantasy, but they're up against Washington, like I've mentioned, 24th against QB, and I just think they're gonna have to pass, like because I actually don't think against that D line they're actually going to run the ball that well.
And even I don't think he'll scramble a lot either.
Yeah, he's gonna have to pass. Like seriously, just like 20 times, mate. That'd be great.
Justin, just throw the fucking ball.
Oh,
Yeah. No. It's the only thing we care about in this game is it because no one's watching that. You can pay me to watch it, and I wouldn't.
All right, I'm on the turn for my last two picks, and they're obvious positions: running back and a tight end. The tight end lure of bloody Taysom Hill is just—it's just there, isn't it? Because if he pulls out a 30, then you're obviously gonna know you're gonna win. I've got three written down for tight end. Obviously, he's one of them. I don't know. I'm going to say no to it. I'm going to pick someone else just because it's just
becoming
annoying.
the Dr. Cool.
It just feels like shit. I know. It's like if he has a good game, I could just claim it for Dr. Cool anyway. I'm going to go someone really random. Someone I definitely have not talked about at all. Well, I know I don't talk about tight ends that often anyway, but someone that I've not talked about at all because he's like weirdly in like a 3-person tight end share at his team, but he seems to be the one that always gets the touchdown, and it's actually a stack with Gino. I'm going Will
Disley. I fucking knew you were doing that.
Big Montana. I'm going Big Montana up against the Arizona defense in the 31st or second last against tight end. Give me that touchdown, baby.
I knew I had Irv Smith and Will Disley, and I'm like, yeah.
Will Disley. Oh, really got into the bag for that one. But he's like tight end 12 or something, which obviously means nothing. But he's had a few touchdowns this year. So he had that breakout a couple of years ago, and then I think he tore his Achilles, and he's just really hasn't been the same since. But I don't know. I like I said, I think that could be a very high scoring game. So why not stack that pitch up?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I agree with that one though. I like it. I like it a lot.
I think you're gonna like my next one too, Manjot, because it's your boy Jeff Wilson Jr.
Oh, my boy. He's been my boy ever, even before. I think it was 2019 when he started becoming my boy. I just keep calling him my boy Jeff Wilson Jr.
I had last year, right? So at the start of the year, you obviously could put someone in the IR. And I think I had 7 leagues where Jeff Wilson was the person I had in the IR from the draft. Just every single draft, I was like, Jeff Wilson, he's when he comes back from, because I think he started on the IR. So he was coming back in week 5 last year. And I was like, he's going to dominate. He's going to dominate. And he got the role, and he just never quite did too much with it. But he definitely looks better this year. I think he's more healthier, like because he's not coming off an IR stint. He seems to be a lot healthier from the get-go.
Yeah.
He had 120 odd yards last week. So look, up against Atlanta, which I assume they would lead. I never can really pick an Atlanta game at the moment. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen in an Atlanta game? But I assume it's going to be a decent game script for him. So I'm just going to take the shot that he's going to be running a lot in the second half and give me another 120 yards.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give it to you. I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr. definitely a good pick there, Taylor. I can't disagree, man. The Niners, love is just too much in me.
Exactly. I had Brandon Ayuk on my list at wide receiver too. I actually thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, with running backs as well, I was just thinking of a few names, and yeah, it was just an interesting week for running backs, wasn't it? Just looking at a few of these names. I think one guy who may or may not be eligible is Kenneth Walker. Would you guys consider him eligible? I mean, I've already chosen my running back, but
I would, because again, I just don't think that the lead back role at Seattle right now is like a guaranteed fantasy gold mine unless it's against Detroit. Like I feel like he's fine. Like I would consider like Jeff Wilson Jr. being the lead back at the Niners a more coveted role than being the lead at Seattle right now. So I would definitely allow it.
100%. I mean, I allow it too, to be honest. Just wanted to, because he's not really that solidified as their.
Nah, because they've got
Right,
like DJ Dallas there. I know Travis Homer's coming back in like week 7. Like it's going to be a muddled backfield. I think. I don't think they're going to fully let the rookie just cook. But I think he'll be the lead at least.
Look,
if you had him and you've kept him this long, like that's good reward for his owners.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, I'm not trying to say he's going to be nothing. I'm just not 100% sold that the lead of that team just means like you're not even like eligible for starts of the week, like that you're going to be like a guaranteed top 10 off the bat.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, so with my final pick, very surprised you guys didn't actually choose him. So I'm actually pretty confident in this one.
Ooh.
I actually left him pretty late, and he's going up against one of the worst secondaries in the world, the Washington Commanders. I'm of course talking about Mr. One Hand Catch from last week, Darnell Mooney. I
can't trust the Bears, man. I cannot do it anymore.
I can't do it either. I mean, I'm just gonna take a flyer here. I'm fine with the other 3 picks, but Darnell against that secondary, surely something gets going. I mean, I was looking at defensive line from the freaking Washington Commanders, and I mean, it's a good defensive line. It's just, well, it's great in run stopping. They just need that guy in Chase Young to really hammer home the sort of pass rushing attacks and everything. So I'm not entirely sure if I can trust myself here, but I'll take a flyer. I'll take it. Like, look, they have what 4 5 sacks last week. This defensive line, so it might be even worse against the Bears with their offensive line there. But I'll go with Darnell. Let's go for it.
As good a game as any up against that terrible secondary. You just got to hope Fields gets enough time.
Yeah, matchup's great, and I think it's fitting that Marky Mark finishes this off. So yeah.
Still this bad boy up.
I'm going to go, so wide receiver is my last pick. I'm going to go Chris Godwin.
Ooh.
Wide receiver 20, right on the boundary.
Yeah.
Is that allowed? Are we allowing that?
That's my thought. I'm trying to like sort of work through that, because like I don't know like if he's really someone that anyone's thinking about not starting. I know I'm not in any team that I have him, only because of the like so it's more about the preseason, like as in the preseason ADP, because everyone's got in their mind that he's a top 10, top 15 receiver. I don't know if anyone's thinking about it. He did also come into the season with an injury, which sort of dropped it off a little bit. So
yeah,
I know for a fact, and like I want to give it to you just because like you've come in and sort of being new to it and everything. I know for a fact that if I brought up Chris Godwin, Matty would just fucking slam the door on that in about 10 split seconds. And if he says
let me pivot. I'll pivot. I've got another one. That's right. He was right on the fringe, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It 100% makes sense in terms of the rules, in terms of like where they're sitting now. I just think he's probably seen as too higher of a pick from the start of the season. And I think the only reason he's as low as he is because of the injury at the start of the year. So I think he's probably considered a little bit too high. Would you agree, Manjot?
Yeah, I thought he was too high, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Just his status as the Buccaneers wide receiver 2, I reckon it's just a bit too high at the moment to trust a guy like Godwin. So yeah, unfortunately, Mark, that's how brutal we can be on starts of the week sometimes. So
I've done okay. First 3 picks I got through okay. I've
Oh,
got
absolutely.
I think I've literally gone the same game for every team minus quarterback. So I'm going to, it's not my homer pick, but that game, I'm going to go Adam Thielen.
Yep. Matty took him last week.
So same reason as Irv Smith. They're just going to be able to pass all over us.
Yep. That makes sense.
So Kirk's going to have a massive day.
yeah,
And if I could pick him, I would have probably picked him too.
I was thinking about Thielen.
It's such a weird one of Thielen.
Actually,
You can't pick the game though. Like I guarantee he has a fucking 3 touchdown game. I just don't know when it's going to be. Like he always finishes every season high in touchdowns. Like he's more of a red zone threat than he is like a threat from all over the field these days. Obviously with his age, but he just always ends the season like top 5, top 10 in touchdowns, and he hasn't really got many this year, which just means I'm just waiting for him to break out.
He's almost that, it's very loose, but Wes Welker, Edelman kind of receiver. So he's doing all the sort of 10 yards from scrimmage, that like in that area.
Like a smart route runner. Like he almost outsmarts them instead of like he's not that athletic, but he's makes
not
it
the
look
first
like he
read.
is.
He's probably not the second read either. He's more sort of when Kirk's getting through to the third, and if Jefferson isn't clearly open or he hasn't got a dump off there, then
maybe like a Hunter Renfro as well a bit.
Yeah, actually that's a good comp.
Yeah, I guess more of a clearing sort of person. Like he helps the upper receiver sort of clear out some space for them, and then Jefferson can get that sort of yards. He did the same thing for Diggs. So always being that underrated.
Oh, I don't know why. I've just got this massive feeling he's going to have a massive game. I don't know why.
I was thinking about him this week as well.
If there's ever a matchup to do it, it's this one.
So
I'll be awake at 3 a.m. watching that. 4 a.m. watching that shit show.
It's going to have Mark's. Well, that's the only reason Mark won't be smug about it, is if he's destroyed his Dolphins, then maybe he won't be full smug. But I've just had this idea of Mark's face just smirking in my head when I wake up to fucking Thielen's 148-yard 3 touchdown game.
I'll be smirking while crying.
God, what does that look like?
Smrying.
Yeah. Let Scarlet cook.
Honorable mention though, like I was looking at Juju, and he's terrible in terms of ranking.
That's been a tough own. I got given him in a league that I auto drafted because it was at midnight, that Megla Bowl for the fantasy footballers, and like it is the worst. Like every single week, you're winning in fucking projections because Juju's projected to get like 11 and he scores like 4. Like every single week.
Oh, he cost me the dynasty win the other day because I had Mahomes. I was going up against a guy who had Juju, and Juju just gets this one catch, and then I lose by literally 1 point. I lose by 1.02 points because that one freaking catch.
Mahomes is just spreading it everywhere. Like there really hasn't been anyone but Kelsey which I think a lot of people predicted, but you kind of were hoping for like more boom games from like some of them. Like instead of it being a full divide, it's like no one's had like 100 yards. It's crazy. Like everyone just gets to like 70 and 80 and just cannot get past like a full on breakout threshold.
Mahomes goes, that's enough for you. Now I'm going to give someone else a turn.
You are done now. This next touchdown is going to my boy Travis again. It's just going to be 4 like 1 yard touchdowns.
I think I sent it to you guys in the preseason when he came out and said that he was going to spread the ball around more.
Yep.
Like, why does Patrick Mahomes hate fantasy owners?
He does.
Except you're a Kelsey owner, of course. Kelsey.
Because his brother's a cockhead.
His wife's a bigger cockhead.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to go with the wife initially, and I'm like, no, I'll just go with the brother.
Yeah. Fair enough. On that note, are we done, boys? Do you think?
I think we are. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good, and you know, it's been a weird show. We've obviously appreciated Marky Mark for coming back.
Can we just recap all the things from the evening? Taylor's been watching seagulls have sex.
Yep, that's important to put first. Yep.
Yeah, that's what we started with. And
We're
then,
sending Ezekiel back to play for the Memphis Tigers.
Yeah, and he's not Benjamin Button.
yeah.
No, and he's that's right. What else happened? Manjot's Wi-Fi is terrible.
Yeah, I dropped out.
I was near a big banana.
Yep, and
You caught a cough
what
from the
else?
big banana.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
What else?
and Mark stole Raheem the Dream off me.
He's so dreamy.
Yeah. Wow. What a night. What a show. Just tick past 1
What a great
a.m.
recap.
Yeah, it was a great recap. Look,
I'm sure there's about 100 things we forgot too.
yeah. Look, one of the things we haven't forgot, Marky Mark. You've got to plug in your show.
Absolutely.
No Heart of Dynasty, man. You got to plug it in.
So we did it a bit earlier, but thanks for your support, guys. Like, I really appreciate it, all the feedback you give me, and let me sort of create content for you guys. It's a wonderful way for me to get into this space. Basically, piggybacking off all the great work you guys already do. And also, I'd love to have you guys on at some point. As they're only short episodes, but to get sort of, Taylor, you've been in Dynasty for a couple of years, and Manjot, just a new set of eyes on Dynasty. Bring your unique look at it. Because we also look at things outside of necessarily just like sort of player perspective. We look at roster construction, a bit of fantasy 101. So just try to give new people to fantasy football in general just a bit of a heads up on some things that maybe they don't consider.
Yeah,
for sure. It's awesome, mate. Like I even said on a few different podcasts that you're definitely a go-to of mine if I have any sort of questions about what I'm looking to do. Like, I definitely see you as one of the better minds in terms of Dynasty. Like, I feel like a few months out of the season, you've already got your eye on what rookies are coming out and what they're good at and what they're not great at. Like, you've definitely got an awesome Dynasty mind that way, and it's not something that every sort of person that does redraft leagues has. So you're definitely an awesome person to sort of bend your ear about some of the stuff coming up. And I've got the People's Dynasty team, which by the way is 5-0 right now, and 200 points,
feeling it.
200 points ahead of second in terms of points for. So it's not a bad team at the moment, going for back-to-back titles. Just thought
you are destroying that. That's not even close.
Yeah, no. So we have this thing where you get $10 if you win, if you get the highest score of the week, and I've won 4 out of 5 so far. So $40 in my pocket straight up. So that's always handy. But I was meant to be actually giving you a wrap instead of myself. I just thought I went on a little bit of a tangent there. But
no, mate, you've got to plug money. If you're winning, you take that.
Exactly. But I feel like a lot of that's been through some of your advice as well. And, I always talk to you, Manjot and Matty about any of the trades I want to talk about. Like, I know I come on here and act like it sounds like I'm probably act like I know it all and have all these stats behind me. Everyone in fantasy football needs advice. So everyone, wants a new set of eyes on a situation, and you provide that. And you don't just do that like everyone does. You give different analysis about different sort of matchups and things like that. And it's a different look with a different set of eyes on honestly a platform like Dynasty, which is growing more and more every year. Like, more and more people are getting involved in Dynasty. It's probably one of the fastest growing formats to play. So it's awesome that you're doing that now, because I think you've got vast knowledge that could help a lot of people out.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's and I agree. Like, the Dynasty community is massive. Like, I mean, I have a short podcast, and I have to give a shout out to the Dynasty dude, Corey Evans. He was my inspiration for doing shorter format episodes. So, you can pack a lot into these if you just sort of keep the topics simple. And then sort of just a couple of conversations I've had with you boys just around, just how fantasy works. Pulling on a few different levers, thinking a little bit differently about things. That's where we're going on the whole, roster construction. And, the one I did last week was trends versus coincidence. Just trying to pick that up. One that I'm actually planning to do in the future is, can you actually, we always say that you can't win your league at the draft, but, we actually deep dive on the stats. Is it possible to win your league at the draft? So that'll be a fun one in a couple of weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
some
But
of
again,
these
thanks for your
ideas.
support, guys. Like it means the world. So
Yeah. I wish we, had more than just Matty doing the video editing, because I reckon we can get a few YouTube videos up there with Marky Mark and, get some good content like visually as well. So, hopefully
Absolutely.
we'll have it up on YouTube soon, because that'd be great if, just Mark, like, in front of a microphone, just talking for 15 minutes. That would be good. I mean, we'll eventually someday we'll have, some good editing and shit that like gets us up to like god tier editing, and then yeah, Marky Mark, all the players that he talks about comes up on the screen. That's just a dream I have for you there, Mark. But just I'm not sure if that's how you want your show to go, but I would love your show to go somewhere like that. So just want to put that one out there for you, man.
but I'm an
Yeah,
absolute novice in
so
this space. I am happy for any feedback because it can
yeah.
only get better. So
Yeah, definitely try and get the show on YouTube. But for our YouTube viewers, you can find the first couple episodes on Spotify. They're already up there. So eventually Mark will get on YouTube someday. So hopefully, just like us, we were firstly an audio only podcast. Now we're video fully on. Yeah,
dominating
Matty
the
C
world.
for him. Yeah, we are #1 Aussie fantasy football podcast. Poor Matty C, he's got to do the editing while also having a freaking one arm and shit. So, thoughts out again to Matty C. Uh, yeah, that wraps it up. I don't think there's an Instagram to plug. Don't think there's a TikTok to plug. Is okay. That's just joking. So, yeah, of course, Aussie NFL fantasy and every social media. You've got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Where else? Where else do we find us? Freaking Linktree. Yeah, that's where you get them all. If I didn't mention social media, you'll find it all in the Linktree. That's for sure. Of course, Pastry Press NFL. You can find it there on freaking Instagram. That's the only Pastry Press that goes around now. So Pastry Press NFL for all your NFL needs. But just the main page at this point, because that's what does well on the Instagram algorithm, according to you guys. That's what you want. So let's do it. Let's get the memes out there. Of course, you can find segments of our show and all the pastry performance and everything through our socials as well. So please interact, share our content if you can, share all our links and everything if you enjoyed the show. And of course, one more message. Massive thank you to Marky Mark for joining the show.
Thanks,
Massive thank you
Mark.
to Taylor for joining. Yeah, thanks to the boys for letting me host the show for the first time, which is a very weird idea.
I was going to say as well, yeah, massive thanks to Mark, but also well done, Manjot. Like, someone had to sort of keep this weird ship together, and it's been an unnatural sort of situation that we've had to go through for this week. But you've done awesome, mate, and thanks heaps for stepping up and hosting, and thanks for coming on board last minute, Mark. It definitely kept the show. It didn't seem like it was on track, but it definitely kept it going. So we got ourselves out there, and honestly, we have you to thank for coming on and helping us out. So thanks, mate.
Thanks, boys, for having me. Like I genuinely enjoy it. It's such a great show to be a part of. And yeah, like I love listening to it. But it's always cool to talk fantasy with you guys. And great job, Manjot. You did really well. And I think Matty sitting at home wherever he is,
like a proud father.
Well, that's it. It's still carried on quite well. So, and hopefully I got him a win.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, and last thing, of course,
I don't hope for that.
Yeah, of course, last thing.
I do not support that message.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%. Yeah, of course, catch us on MN live streaming AC Gridiron streams this week. Forgot to mention that. That'll be fun. Hopefully, Matty is good enough for that one. But if not, we've got some other commentators lined up, so it's all good. We'll have a 3-man booth if Matty's there anyway. So it'll be a 2-man if Matty's not there. So we're keeping the show rolling with or without Matty anywhere. So
or without you. Oh.
But look, Matty, we hope you get better soon. We hope all our viewers stay safe, don't get injured, don't get sick or COVID or AIDS or whatever the fuck you might get. Don't get any of that, please.
That's for Miles Sanders, mate.
Yeah, because make sure stay safe. Make sure you can catch us next time, please. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for more Aussie NFL Fantasy. Yes, I am indeed public defender Manjot Melly. I didn't give you more pictures, Matty, because you just.
I've literally got one.
You got more this week. You put a million on your Facebook.
At least Taylor gives me a bit of expression. Did you see the face on Dr. Goodcall?
All rise.
We all did.
I don't know who the judge is.